What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex Yu, and you're watching Ragin Ronin Review. I got spoiler chat for you guys. We got to do more spoiler chat for Tenet. Tenet is a very, very complex film. There's a lot to talk about. I've already done my spoiler-free review, but be warned, this video has spoilers. I actually already did a spoiler chat video, but there's so much more to talk about that I decided that I want to make one more video. And this is regarding what I said in my review for this film, and that is, I said that Tenet is actually a love letter to Christopher Nolan's career. And by his career, I mean he did the previous 9 movies that he directed over the last 20 years. I'm not going to include following because I never saw that. But what I mean by it's a love letter to his career is that this film actually borrows a lot of elements from his previous films. As I was watching this film, I felt that this film actually, you know, while it's a completely different film, it actually takes a lot of elements from the previous films and he applies them to this story. So it's very, very interesting. And I decided that I want to make a video to point those things out. So in no particular order, we're just going to start off with Dunkirk, his most recent film before Tenet, which came out in 2017. In Dunkirk, you do not see the enemy. You do not see the enemy at all. It's intentional. You don't see any of the German forces that are shooting at the British soldiers. Okay, that's totally intentional. However, in Tenet, he does the same thing in the final battle of the movie. In the final battle of the movie, there's this big battle that happens on this Starsk 12. And you see the special forces, the Tenet units, they're just shooting. They're running and shooting aggressively, but you don't know who they're shooting at. Okay, fine. You do see some soldiers, like dead soldiers, in the background. They're wearing white coats. That's their uniform. And you see gun turrets. And you know that clearly they're the enemy. But you never really see them. The camera's really focused completely on the Tenet soldiers. And they're doing a lot of firing, but I'm thinking the whole time, who are they shooting at? And who's shooting them? You don't really get to see them. And I think that's intentional because, like, with such a big battle, why wouldn't you show the bad guys? So, I'm not sure why Christopher Nolan decided to do that, but he did it. The Prestige. In The Prestige, there's a magician, played by Christian Bale, who actually performs a task which comes with consequences so that the other version of himself can live happily ever after with his daughter. Okay, so what that means is that Christian Bale's character, I think his name's Borden, he puts himself in jail so his twin, his other version of himself, can actually have a happy life with his daughter. So he makes that sacrifice. In Tenet, a similar thing happens. The inverted cat actually kills Sador, and then jumps off the yacht. And then the forward-moving, I think it's the forward-moving cat, the forward-moving cat can live a happy life with her son. So you can see that there's 2 versions of the characters, but one of them does something that affects the life of the other one, the other version, so that the ultimate goal is to be able to see her son again. So they made a very similar, both characters made very similar sacrifices. Insomnia. Now, this one's a little bit of a stretch, but I thought I'd point this out. In Insomnia, the character Al Pacino plays, the detective, he shot his partner, but because of the 24 hours of daylight in the summertime in Alaska, he wasn't actually sure if he even did it because he's so confused with the lack of sleep. In Tenet, there are a lot of events going on, and it's actually really confusing because we don't know if it's going forward or backwards, and then I guess it affects the audience. The audience doesn't really know. Now, is this the forward-moving version of the characters, or is it the inverted version, like, of the characters doing these things? So that's a little bit confusing. I know that's a bit of a stretch, but you know, I tried. Anyways, Memento. Now, this is an obvious one. In Memento, the narrative structure of the story is that it's told in forwards and backwards at the same time. Eventually, both stories meet, and then it all makes sense in the end of the movie. Same thing with Tenet. I like to call Tenet Memento on steroids because they're going forward and backwards at the same time. At least they go forward first, and then they go backwards, and then they go forward again. It's really confusing. But then when they meet, it actually reveals a mystery. It reveals questions. It solves a part of the puzzle just like how Memento solves the puzzle actually for what's going on. So in Tenet they do the same thing, but they solve a smaller part of the puzzle because it's such a big movie. But the fact is that it's going forward and backwards at the same time. In Inception, Cobb, he carries out this task, this mission, because his end goal is that he wants to see his kids again. But you never actually see any of the kids' faces until the end of the movie. For Tenet, Kat joins the mission, and she just wants to be reunited with her son again, but you never actually see the son's face ever in the movie. In the whole movie, you don't get to see the son's face, just like in Inception. In the whole movie, you don't get to see Cobb's kid's face until the end of the movie. But they had to do that because when the kids reveal their faces, it shows that, okay, she's no longer in the dream anymore. But for Kat, you never get to see the kid's face, but it's a similar thing that she did. She had to carry out this mission, be part of this mission, so that the end goal was to see her kid again. So there's very, very direct similarities there. Okay, Interstellar. In Interstellar, there is this algorithm, or rather this equation, the equation of gravity that needs to be solved so they can save human life. In Tenet, they need to get an algorithm to save lives, okay, so that Sator doesn't destroy the world. So they both need to get algorithms. Okay, now we got the Dark Knight trilogy. So in Batman Begins, there's a secret organization called the League of Assassins, and in the end of the movie, they actually wear these masks to prevent themselves from breathing fear gas. And fear is actually the theme of the film. And if they breathe in the fear gas, then they feel the effects of this fear gas. In Tenet, the theme is obviously inversion, going backwards, right? And there's a secret organization called Tenet, and their special forces need to wear these masks so that when they're going backwards in time, when they're inverted, then they can actually breathe normally, because when they're going inverted, they can't actually breathe oxygen, right? So that's a very direct similarity. The Dark Knight. In The Dark Knight, there is a big car chase involving trucks, armored trucks, garbage truck, like an 18-ton truck. They're trying to extract something. In the case of The Dark Knight, they're trying to kill Harvey Dent. Now, in Tenet, there's this big chase sequence on a highway which involves an armored truck and a whole bunch of other trucks, and also they're trying to extract something, which is the algorithm. Finally, The Dark Knight Rises. In The Dark Knight Rises, Bane believes that anarchy is how to restore Gotham, just like how Sator believes this inverted catastrophe can fix climate change. So, they both have different beliefs. They're quite different, but the theme itself is quite similar because they're trying to do something quite catastrophic to make things better in what they believe is right, their opinion, right? So there you have it. These are the similarities between Tenet and all the other films that Christopher Nolan has directed. Like I said, he borrows elements from every single one of his films and puts them in Tenet. I don't know if it's intentional. I think partially it's intentional, but maybe another part of it is kind of happened by fluke, just because, well, this is Christopher Nolan we're dealing with. If you can think of anything else, just let me know in the comments section below. And there you have it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did enjoy it, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to YouTube channel, like me on Facebook, The Ragin Nation. Also follow me on Twitter, Ragin Nation. My name is Alex Yu. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Peace.